Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another fantastic edition of the Manga Collecting Show here at the Omnibus Collectors Network, aka the other house for Omnibroslive, aka the show with Gio and Riley, aka the Omnibus Collector himself. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Geo, aka A Week in Geekdom.
Yeah, lots of aka tonight. Shout out to the collector who joined us early, or we're a little bit late due to some technical difficulties, but we're here. That's all that matters. James, did someone kidnap Geo, or is he MIA? He already started the show on time. Yeah, sorry about that. It's little hiccups before going live.
We're trying to make sure we can hear each other.
Yeah. Hi, Geo. Hi, Riley. Solo leveling here. Hell yeah, man. Gary Sandberg, what up? Our boy, thank you so much. I hope I'm saying this name right. UTX7 or UTX7, who's always tuning in from Twitch. That is awesome because yes, we are streaming on Twitch. Kong Chen, hi. Thank you for joining.
I had no idea we were on Twitch.
Call me 7. All right. 7. Awesome. Thank you for joining. So this was a little impromptu, but nonetheless, we've actually read the book and we've owned it for a while now. And I thought, let's talk about solo leveling. We never talk about webtoons and manhwa and all that fun stuff. So I thought it'd be a nice change of pace.
I don't know why I didn't grab it before the show, but let's go ahead.
But speaking of grabbing before shows, you need to grab your computer and head on to instocktrades.com where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. And hey, guess what? If you order $50 or more, you get fantastic customer service and wonderful, beautiful shipping. That's only when you visit instocktrades.com. So, solo leveling, manhwa. Does it smell?
There is a I didn't smell it until just like because you brought it up, and I was like, And there's definitely something to it that's like familiar, but it wasn't pungent enough, at least for my copy, that like I could smell it when I was reading. Yeah, because I didn't know what you're talking about until just now, but I like shoved my face in it, and I was like, yeah, there's definitely something. I just don't know.
I think it probably is
the ink. It probably is.
On the, yeah.
Or the paper stock that they have to use because of the ink.
It's pretty interesting compared to your regular manga or graphic novels. The panel layouts, all that fun stuff. So before we get into like the technical aspect and the story review and all that stuff, have you previously read any manhwa or webtoon comics or however they're called? I apologize if I'm not getting the terminology right.
I haven't read anything from like webtoons because I know like this was, I guess originally this was a light novel, and then they had it on the Webtoons app, which the Webtoons app seems like it's kind of like Marvel's Infinite Comics that they did. Like they started doing back with the Avengers versus X-Men, where like each panel is read one at a time, like you go panel to panel instead of page to page. And so in printing it out, they had to kind of restructure it and put the panels on the page physically. So I haven't read anything on the app and stuff, though. My brother-in-law had recommended this to me, like I think a couple years ago now. And I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. And then I never checked it out. And then when I saw that they were releasing the physical, I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and get it now. So that's my first exposure to something like that.
Now, I find it funny because I filmed my haul video for last month, and in it, when I mentioned solo leveling, I'm like, this is the very first Korean webcomic graphic novel that I've ever owned. And I remember that I had Now, which I gave to you, and it's in your collection. So, yeah. Gary is asking what app and how much. Webtoon app. You can set up an account and start reading stuff for free. There's a premium thing, I think, but I don't know what's the main difference. I've only used the free version, and I've read a couple things there, here and there. I need to go back to it because they have some really cool stuff in there. But you can read stuff for free, legit. And Gabriel, hello guys, nice shirts. Thank you. It's an oldie but a goodie, a favorite of mine with the
This is
survey core.
A newie for me. When we visited my family for Easter weekend, it was whenever we got to exchange. Well, I had already sent my Christmas gifts to them, but my mom and sister and stuff gave us all our Christmas gifts, and my mom likes to do a lot of clothes shopping. And usually for Christmas, she would buy me like clothes for work and be like, hey, you know, here's some ties and some shirts and nice pants. But now, like, I don't have to wear anything for work. Like, you know, shorts and a shirt are fine. So she bought me a lot more like comfortable clothes, and she bought me like two or three button up like Hawaiian style shirts. And so because I'm too lazy to hang my shirt up today, I decided to just take this out of the stack of clothes that were not hung up and give it a whirl. It's comfortable. It's comfortable. I could definitely see, you know, if my wife and I took another trip out to Hawaii, I would definitely want to wear this. Very nice. I'm pulling up the Webtoons app, and I had it before, but I'm trying to put it back in and see what comes up.
There are a couple of noteworthy series out there that received anime and manga adaptations. Last year we had Tower of God, which was one of my favorite shows of 2020. They also did God of High School. Noblesse, I think it's called. It's a vampire drama.
I see there's another Sweet Home is on there.
Yeah. There's one that is getting, I posted it on the farm on our manga subgroup about something devilish. I can't remember what it was. It's another famous one that's getting printed, I think, from Dark Horse. They're going to do the localization.
That's cool.
James, Sweet Home is a very good webtoon. Yeah, I've been wanting to read that. Yep. Our buddy Farhan made it. Thank you. Hello, Gian Riley. Friday morning here, and what a way to start my day with two of my favorite bros. God bless you guys. Peace and love from Malaysia. God bless you, Farhan. Stay safe out there, man.
Happy to hear from you, man. So yeah, I pulled it up. There's the Webtoon app. Not that you can see it very well on my shiny phone screen, but I told it that I like action, thriller, and horror series just to kind of see what's up on there. And it just throws up a bunch of, asks you which of these looks nice, what art styles do you like, and then it just gives you a bunch of recommendations of different series that are on there. Because I'm sure there's like probably hundreds of series on here, so it could be overwhelming.
Mozen has read Tower of God, High School, Noblesse, Gozen. I hope I said that right. Bunch of good, cool stuff there. So I'm not used to using that app often. I had it on my phone, but I deleted it because I was running out of space. But there were some really interesting things there, and you can also find like regular webcomics in there as well if you're into that stuff. But if I remember correctly, you were the one that told me that Solo Leveling was on there, but then they took it out, right?
Yeah, I think it was on this app, but it was removed more recently, and I would assume it's because they wanted to capitalize on the physical edition.
Yeah.
But I'm not an expert on it because I've downloaded the app before, but didn't really. I just was using it to kind of look at stuff. It looks like if you have the premium version of it, you can there's a limit to how much you can read at a time, and with the premium, you can read more.
Okay.
Because it just says one free episode every day available, and so I guess I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm just making assumptions about stuff.
Well, the app used to, or somebody in the chat that can clarify, it used to have Solo Leveling, which is the title that we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to read you guys the description because I'm terrible with names, so I do apologize in advance because I'm not going to remember these names. This is a world where awakened beings called hunters must battle deadly monsters to protect humanity. Sung Jin-woo, nicknamed the weakest hunter of all mankind, finds himself in a constant struggle for survival. One day, after a brutal encounter in an overpowered dungeon wipes out his party and threatens to end his life, a mysterious system chooses him as its sole player. So I don't want to read too much into that because there are some spoilers of what I'm reading here. But what do you think? First impressions on Solo Leveling?
I had a lot of fun with it. It was, it has that. I think we said this on a previous show, or I don't know who I might have spoken to about it, but like it has the isekai vibe to it because it's it's got all the fantasy stuff and like all the terminology of like video game type things, except that like it all like exists in the world that they're actually in. So it's not like they're being transported into another world. And it picks up really quickly. The right when I started the series, it just took a couple pages to kind of get into the groove of it, I guess, and to start really like getting into the action. And once you get into the action, like the main part of it, it just was hard to put down, and I wound up finishing it really quickly. It's very action.
It's a very fast read. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a chunky book. It's a chunky book, and you think, oh, there's a lot of material. Actually, there's only 3 chapters to it.
It's
but the way
300 pages.
300 pages for 3 chapters and a prologue.
Yeah.
But what I thought was that, okay, since this is taking the Webtoon stuff and putting it in book format, they're trying to simulate the format on the app where it's like a motion comic, and as you're swiping or as you're tapping, it moves from panel to panel. So it does have that fluidity, I guess, to the layouts. And that's probably why it doesn't have a lot of panels like a comic or a manga would. Maybe that's just me. And that's why it's filled with tons of pages compared to a regular manga, which would have been like 9 chapters and you could read it quickly.
Yeah, you can see like the way that the panels are laid out and stuff. There's often a lot of negative space between panels. I don't think that's that spoilery of an image, but it's got a good sense of like that negative space between panels. Because they have to arrange it in a way where, like you were saying, the story flows. And it does read. This is one where, like, if you're someone like Jess who can't read from right to left, this does read from left to right. So
sorry for that.
Yeah, I'm saying it seriously though, because I know like a lot. This does read left to right, so you don't have to worry about the reversed reading of that in there. So it's good. It's fun. It's fast paced. Here's another early page, but there's a lot of blank space in there, and I think they also use the negative space on there to kind of keep the feel kind of correct as far as like having a lot of panels one after another for like the action-packed sequences, or here where it's supposed to be a little bit less action-packed. It slows you down in your reading just a little bit, the way that it's set up.
Mm-hmm.
There's another good example of some like more sparse pages. I like it. I like the way that they put it together. There's a lot of attention to the editing that was put into place in playing with that kind of stuff.
Mozen is saying, I used to wonder how they would translate the long, awesome art that you scroll in your phone into physical book. Yeah, because when you're reading, it's upwards. So I think they captured that surprisingly well. I didn't mind it. I know a lot of people get accustomed to that instead of reading it physically, but I thought they did a good job. As for the story itself, like you said, with the whole isekai tropes, it didn't surprise me too much because I love that genre and I've read so many isekai and watched so many isekais. So I was used to that stuff, and when they were saying, oh, like, this is a part of our daily lives, this is an activity where hunters, they hunt in dungeons and kill creatures and stuff and earn money or loot, I guess, and trade it for money. That's stuff that we've seen in a bunch of isekai where the protagonists are sent to another world and they do just that to earn status, glory, fame. I don't know. But I did enjoy that. Like you said, I like that it's more of it's more than just an activity. It's a way of life for these characters. And we have our main character, Jin Woo Sung. By the way, I'm butchering those pronunciations. I hope I'm getting close to them. Jin Woo Sung, who is nicknamed the weakest hunter of all mankind. A little bit excessive, but I like that basically he's got a really crappy luck to him. And but he's giving it his all. And I like a character like that. Even if he sucks at what he's doing, he's trying to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they play with that the joke about that really well in here. The way that the story starts out and stuff, kind of like expanding on the different types of characters that you'll see in there, like the different types of hunters and stuff, and then going into the dungeon and it's the same, like the type of idea, like they talk about, like, you know, rankings, like, you know, E rank hunter and a D rank dungeon and stuff like that. So like even though it's all set in their world, it still sounds like they're going through. It reminded me of, I guess this is because it's one of the earlier isekai type things that I ever had seen, but it whatever reason gave me a lot of vibes of like dot hack sign.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of that vibe with the dungeon crawling type of stuff. But it also, though, reminded me of Gantz. Like, I don't know if you felt any of that, but when I was first reading it, it kind of had the fast-paced action with like the interesting designs to the antagonistic like creatures or whatever.
Like there's sort of I don't even know if I'm using the right term in this case, but it reminds me of aspects of Lovecraft in that the enemies are like, you understand what they are, but there's an eeriness and sort of a cosmicness to them, where it's almost like an ethereal villain or bad guy.
Yeah, there's always some sense of unknown behind it. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I get what you're saying. Agreeing.
Also, a bit of a not a clickbait, well, sort of a clickbait. We don't really see this at all in this book, which I was a little disappointed because I am very superficial. When I see a manga or an anime or a comic or whatever, the cover, to me at least, still works wonders. Where you have something like this, I'm going to pick it up because it looks badass. I want to see what's happening. So I fall into that trap of being baited by covers. And just a heads up, you don't see this anywhere. There is a hint at the end of what's to come in Volume 2 and all that stuff. But yeah. So basically, the story, you have Jin Woo Sung, and he's going to take part in this. Would you say it's like a raid or a campaign with different people from his town? And he is, if I remember correctly, he's trying his hardest at hunting to help out his mother and mother and sister. Sorry.
Yeah.
The sister is going to college, and the mom has medical bills or something like that. And he's terrible at the hunting stuff, which you really feel for the guy because he's trying his hardest. His heart is in the right place. And he's going to this adventure. He also has a couple friends. Some of the people in the group make fun of him, but at the same time, I didn't get the sense like in a mean-spirited way. It's like that one kid who's not that great at that thing, but you know him, so there's a relationship there. That's how I view their whole shtick. And what was the girl's name? I forgot. I do have the credits here. Joo-hee Lee. She's a healer, and she's joining the party as well. Obviously, pretty obvious that there's a potential love interest there, romantic involvement, and once they enter the dungeon, that's where the majority of these 3 chapters take place, as they get stuck in there, and they have
Yeah.
no idea how to escape, and all they see are gigantic statues. We're not necessarily going to spoil everything. We're just talking about the first 3 chapters, but I love that there's sort of these intellectual games as they're trying to guess
Yeah.
how the heck they're going to solve this puzzle to escape. And what do you think of that, of the whole dungeon trap and everything?
I like that. And I wanted to mention, like, they go into these dungeons and stuff, and it's not like for fun or anything like that. Like, it's a job, because in this world, if you don't have hunters that are going into the dungeon to like fight the monsters, basically the monsters will come out and start attacking the people. And they live, like, it looks like outside of the dungeons, the world is pretty much like similar to our modern world.
Yeah.
And then they just suit up, armor up, take whatever they need, go into the dungeon, and then fight against the monsters that are there, fight them off so that they don't get into the real world, or not the real world, but like their towns and cities and stuff. So I like that aspect of it, that like they give you the reasoning behind, if we don't do this stuff, it's not just about like getting treasure, it's not about like playing a game and leveling up. Like, there's a reason why hunters exist, and they have to do this, or else the people will get hurt. But I like the whole, the kind of mind games, the intellectual type of aspect to it, because it makes it to where a character like Junwoo can succeed, even though he's not physically as capable as everyone else. He might understand what's going on and have the key to their success and their possible survival in the situation that they find themselves in. So I really like that. That's something that I like about, when thinking about other series, like in many manga, like shonen manga, you have these characters who are constantly leveling up and getting power, more power and more power. And like, looking at Dragon Ball Z, for instance, when you watch like any of the Saiyans, they're just getting insanely more powerful than any other race in the series. And then there's power creep and all that type of stuff. But then you have a series like any part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, for instance, where you don't really see the characters power up through the series so much. Like, every once in a while you'll have a character that unlocks like a secondary ability or something, but it's about what the character is able to kind of figure out when they're fighting against whoever they're fighting against. Is like, okay, well, this guy's stand does this, and if I have this ability, how can I use my ability to fight against that? And it's the same type of idea, like using your intellect, not just using your brawn, but using your brains against someone. And that's what we get a lot of in this book, at least in the early part of this book. And I hope that doesn't disappear, because I really liked that type of, almost like riddle that it gives you. And I was sitting there guessing, like, myself as the reader, like, what's going to happen? Like, how do they get out of that?
There's a point where I'm like thinking, like, the rest of the people trapped in that dungeon, I'm like, how the heck do you even solve this? There's no clues anywhere. But it was pretty smart the way they go about it. Kind of reminded me of a series like, and obviously there's no gambling, but like Kaiji, where you're forced into scenarios where you're like, how do I get out of this? Life or death.
Yeah, exactly.
So what did we think about the art? Because that's another big one that a lot of people are excited about. Seeing these things for the first time, you might not be into the app, or you might not know about manhwa or webtoon. What do you think about the art in Solo Leveling so far?
I'm going to say overall, really positive on it. And I'm going to say from the early parts of it, because in the early pieces of it, you're not getting into the action, you're not in the dungeon, it's just kind of introducing the world and the characters. And everything's kind of like, it's good, it's fine. The colors are beautiful. I'm going to say, like, the way that it's inked and colored and stuff is very vibrant. I love the way that looks. but there's just a lot of like similarities in the faces and expressions of the characters and stuff. So in that aspect, it wasn't very um, interesting. But then once you get into the dungeon and you start seeing the more detailed artwork, it's just really, really beautiful to see. And that's where it
Oh
really
yeah.
starts shining, is in like how greatly detailed and just like the mood that the coloring and inking gives it here. It comes off so well and like looks great printed on these pages. So
Oh yeah.
I'm really anticipating seeing, more of this in the following volume, as we're going to get deeper into more like uh action packed type stuff. So yeah,
I like
I thought
that.
it looked great.
I don't know if it's just one artist. Let's see. The story is written by Chu Gong, and the art is Seong Rak Yang. And there's an obvious anime influence to the
Hmm.
way these characters behave, more so than manga, to be honest. I don't know if it's because I'm influenced by the colors, but he really did a kick-ass job with the colors because the mood in every scene is spot on to what's happening with the story. Like the
Yeah.
cityscapes and all that stuff, kind of mundane. You're getting used to everything, and once you go into the dungeon, there's this creepiness that's throughout. Even if nothing's happening, everybody's safe. You still feel an unease to everything. I don't know if it's because of the lighting effects or the art, but man, that art I really loved it. And there's a panel here. What? Oh yeah, this is easily one of my favorite scenes. Mild spoilers, but this is one of my favorite panels
Yeah.
from the first part of the book. Yep. So yeah, really solid stuff. It sucks that it's only 3 chapters. I'm reading here on my um, database at AniList that the first season contains 110 chapters plus the prologue. So if we're doing 3 chapters per book, it's gonna take a while.
I don't think the chapters directly coincide with the chapters. I think the chapters that we have might be like seasons or something. I
Okay.
don't know, because I was talking to my brother-in-law, who I mentioned was the person that
Yeah.
he's the person that recommended it to me. And I told him, like, yeah, the first volume came out and it takes you all the way up to this point. And he goes, oh, so it's collecting, like, it's going pretty far. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize, because it's only on our side it says it's 3 chapters, but like he's saying that goes pretty far into it. And the second volume's solicited to come out pretty soon. I just,
When
since
is that coming out?
it's not on the app anymore, so I can't really tell how far it
Uh,
goes.
Wait. Dang it. Let me check on the internet. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm interneting myself to try and see what I can find.
Because I think
Because I
Amazon
guess,
has volume 2 listed.
yeah, and I checked Right Stuff. It's due out for June.
No, man.
Okay, so I'm looking at chapter 1, and I'm trying to see how far chapter 1 actually goes. I'm going to compare it to the actual volume.
Aya no Koji Senpai. Solo leveling is licensed by Tappytoon.
Yeah,
So
so
maybe that's why it isn't on Webtoon. I might be wrong
so
there.
it this is how much we get. Like chapter 1 ends on this page in the what they would have had
Oh
online.
wow.
So
Okay.
this is like the intro pages, chapter 0 and chapter 1. So yeah,
Damn.
it is a lot more than just the first 3
And
chapters.
30. Yeah. So we probably have like 10 or 20 there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and like skip ahead and see how far it goes.
Also, big shout out to Hector Rodriguez. Salute to my Omnibros. Riley, what up, brother? Shout out to Jess, my dog, Geo, Gabe, and all the fellas. I had to delete my old Facebook account, so unfortunately, I'm out of the comic swap group, but I'm always keeping up with my dudes through the YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting us, man.
I know how it goes.
Semi-
I haven't been on Facebook for like a month now.
Nice shirt, Geo. Thank you. You know when franchises is popular when you see the merch. Yep. Alex says, I think it goes to chapter 12 online compared to the physical.
Yeah,
Cool.
I grabbed I clicked on chapter 30, and I was like, well, definitely didn't go that far.
So yeah, June we're getting Solo Leveling. I was kind of interested in getting the light novel, but I mean, I'm already committed to manga and comics and so much other stuff. I don't want to get into another hobby of reading light novels.
Yeah, it looks 12 looks like that's correct.
Interesting.
So that's still like, I mean, that's a lot more than 3, but
yeah,
that's still a pretty small amount in comparison to what's out right now.
So without spoiling anything for anybody, in case we've piqued their interest and they want to check this out, what did you think of the final, the reveal at the end of the book? Do you think that has potential for in the long run for the series, or it's gimmicky, or because it's very tropey what happens at the end? One of the characters gets an upgrade.
I'm curious about why that would actually be a thing in this world, I guess. Yeah. Because, you know, of what it's supposed to, without spoiling, you know, I don't really want to spoil anything, but it's kind of interesting. It's like, okay, well, if this world is like this, then it's weird that would happen. And I was going to mention, like, you know, I wonder what kind of explanation there is as to why something like that would be in a world like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it already relies on stuff like going hunting and like skill sets and healing and spells and all that stuff, and then to get this at the end, this upgrade, I'm like, okay, cool. I can see the overpoweredness or the power-ups for the characters coming through. Our buddy Kong is in the chat. Any bullying in the first volume?
Light bullying by some of the other characters because of the fact that the main character is weak.
Yep. Yeah.
Like he's an E-ranked hunter and he's going into a D-ranked dungeon, I think, with
something like that, yeah.
But his friend is B rank, and she's really cool with him and stuff. But some of the other guys lightly, like, you know, just say things to him. But it's more, I think it's more like they're talking amongst each other, like, you know, why does he keep trying to do this? Because he's still E rank, yada yada yada. It's not so much like they're like, you suck, and like push him to the ground and kick him and stuff.
Must be the most popular Korean trope. There you go. I can't say. I don't know much manhwa action. I'm just getting into them. They seem to respect him, though. Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying. Like, it's more like this is a horrible example for like we were using Jess as an example earlier. We're not demeaning him. We're just using him as an example and making fun of the situation, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like I didn't get the sense like they're like bullying him physically, more like they're just constantly teasing. I don't know. Hector is asking, is it available to get?
Yeah, I think it's still on
so.
Right Stuff.
No, Right Stuff is out of stock at the moment. Let me check.
Are they? Is it like expecting more?
Yeah, expecting more.
Okay, so Usually, the best thing to do on Right Stuff, if that's the situation, is either set something to where they can notify you, or just place an order for it. Because if you don't, like, they can often just be gone really quickly, basically.
Yeah.
It is available. It's expensive on Amazon right now.
You can get it digitally through Comixology, I think, or if you don't want to get the physical edition. But when I got it, I actually bought it from Amazon. I didn't get it from Right Stuff, and it was available on Amazon for a while after it sold out on Right Stuff. So for the next volume, and if anybody's interested in picking that up, be aware of the different sites, because a lot of people just immediately think, "Oh, anime manga, I got to go to Right Stuff," instead of checking like In-Stock Trades or Amazon or stuff like that.
Well, it's on back order on Diamond, so
No, it's so I think it sold pretty well, so we're going to see more printings of it. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Doesn't sound too extreme. At least I read a fair amount, and there's always bullying. I wonder why that's a trope, the bullying. That's interesting. I didn't think that would be something. Although now that I think about it, Tower of God did have some bullying, and God of High School as well. So, yeah. And man, thank you for joining. Expecting more used to mean something on Right Stuff, but for the last year plus, not so much. Yeah. I'm trying to get from Right Stuff Yona of the Dawn. I've been wanting to get that series for a whole year now. And whenever I go to check, either they're in stock, a couple random volumes, and everything's out of stock. Right now, almost everything's out of stock. So that, yeah.
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, it's a good idea to place an order, because I've seen a lot of cases where, like, it's never shown that it's back in stock, but I placed an order for it and I wind up getting it, because I think at that point they're just filling their back orders with whatever stock they receive.
Yeah. This is interesting. A lot of webtoons go to Kickstarter to publish their books. I had no idea. That's a nice way to do it. Man, if they put out Tower of God, I'd be tempted to get it, even though I kind of really like the anime and want to continue watching it through that format. And man, Yona of the Dawn, there are a few volumes that have been hard to get for a while now. It sucks because the other day, Viz was promoting the series. I'm like, yeah, this is great, but can you reprint more volumes so I can start reading it? Because they're like, oh, this is such a great image from this chapter. I'm like, that is fantastic. Wish I could read it, though. Carly, thank you for joining. Yeah, I kickstarted Witch Creek Road. It's my favorite webtoon. I did not know this. What is Witch Creek Road? Oh, man. Witch Creek Road Kickstarter. I'm going to fall down a rabbit hole, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. This is dangerous.
Sorry. I want Helper. Is Helper the new one? Is that the one I shared, Kong, on the farm? I shared something. I don't even remember what it was. I know it. Dark Horse is going to publish it. Cleveland Brown. Bullies are people too, mostly. Yeah. You had me at Lovecraft. Son of a gun. It's horror. Damn it. No, let's see. Witch Creek Road hardcover. A survival horror about love, acceptance, death, and revenge, and sexy flesh-eating demons. Yeah, it has those two. That art, it looks really cool. Dang it. I'm going to do some research on this later. No, it's a finished webtoon. Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, so that's sort of what we got going on. Solo leveling. Not much to talk about since we've only read volume one. But what about you guys? Have you read solo leveling beyond what we've talked about? And you can say like, "Oh, you guys are wrong. This series is so much better," or "No, you're right. It's okay." Let us know in the comment section or in the chat if you guys are tuning in. Let us know what you thought of solo leveling. As for typical or other manhwa, I was looking through the list here from Webtoon, and I want to read Noblesse. I tried watching the show and did not like it, and people told me you gotta read it because it's a lot better than what they did with the show. So I'm gonna try that. And I don't know. Let's see what else I can find here.
Speaking of shows that got messed up, I heard that Promised Neverland got really nerfed.
That was, ooh. I mean, I haven't read this. I haven't read it because I like watching anime, and I thought, all right, I loved season one, and I was going to start reading the manga, but then they announced season two. I'm like, well, I'll watch season two and then go on with the manga. But after two episodes had aired, they started putting out the information that the mangaka wanted to take a different route with the series. He wanted to do like another what if scenario that he helped script, I guess, for Culverworks to animate. I don't know, and it just went south badly. Like it tanked. It was terrible. Holy crap, that was such a bad show. I mean, the animation was season one was amazingly drawn, in my honest opinion. I love the animation. And then season two was just super mediocre. And after I liked the first two episodes, and everything after that was so underwhelming. And then they did like a whole season's worth of stuff in a 5 minute slideshow at the end with music, and then they gave you a week epilogue, and that's it. The show's over. And they skipped, I think, like 30, 40, or 50 plus chapters of content, and eliminated characters and story arcs, and just went on ahead and did their own thing. Nobody wanted to take writing credits for the final episodes. It was a disaster.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing, like people commenting about it and saying like how the creator just didn't even want to have anything to do with it. And that always like sucks because it makes it to where like the anime only people are going to look at something as being bad when like for me, like I don't really watch any anime and stuff, and I definitely didn't watch that because I don't like to watch like adaptations. And this is one of the reasons why, is because when they make these changes, I know I'm just going to be disappointed. And but now you have other people who are out there like, oh, that series is trash, and it's like, well, you read it, you get the whole story, you can actually see what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, because I know there's a lot of people there's a lot of people that say this, that like was brought up for Tokyo Ghoul. A ton of people bring up the fact that the anime, like people will just say Tokyo Ghoul sucks, and then I see other people like who emphatically are like, no, you have to read it. Like they completely messed it up.
Yeah, but with Tokyo Ghoul, at least you had the ending somewhat, and the creator helped. The creator specifically wanted to do like an alternate version of his work in animation, and I like that. I like when a creator is like, you know what, since it's basically the same thing in two different mediums, and we don't want you to watch or read the same thing again or watch the same thing. Let's just twist things up and do like an alternate take. But with Promised Neverland, it was just terrible. It was poorly written, and characters making dumb decisions, and I don't know. It was bad. But I hope that 10 years from now, they do the Brotherhood treatment
Yeah.
for Promised Neverland, and we get like
Promised Neverland Ultimate.
Ultimate Edition something.
Yeah.
Next Imaginaut. Geo and Riley, any plans for a Gekiga Brut alt manga and or specifically a Gato showcase episode, either solo or with Riley? I haven't gotten into Gekiga. I know what it is, but I haven't gotten into it, so it's not going to be for a while for me. But I know that Riley might have other plans for that. Are you? Because you have a few books, right? Gekiga books.
Yeah, and since it was mentioned, I was thinking, I mentioned on my live show that I did the other day, the 20,000 sub 20,000 sub live show celebration.
Congrats.
Whatever.
Congrats.
Thank you. And one of the first questions I answered was about if I collect Gekiga, and I only have like a small sample of them. And I specifically mentioned, whenever I pulled them, I said it was actually Teddy who had recommended like most of what I have. And I had gotten a message from Teddy that I saw today. They sent me on Sunday saying like, thanks for the shout out. I said, oh, thanks for watching. And Teddy says, I actually wasn't watching, but a friend of mine who watches my stuff told them that I had mentioned them, and they were taken aback that I guess I name dropped Teddy as the person that like turned me on to reading some Gekiga and stuff. But I do need to, one of the things I'll say that I'm focusing on right now is trying to collect pieces from different creators, so I can like fill out different creators' libraries in my collection. And doing, because I'd like to do more episodes similar, or more shows like I did for the Junji Ito, where I went through all of his works that are available in English. And I wanted to do that with other creators. And I'd mentioned, I got blamed because of I wanted to do one for Nihei, and I had pretty much everything else of Nihei's except for the stuff that's stupid expensive. So I wanted to fill out by getting that. And then I also was like, well, I want to do something for like Inoue, and I want to do something for Araki. And so I've been buying actually Japanese books, because there are some pretty cheap copies of some Japanese items that are not available in English. So just kind of like a spoiler or whatever for future things that I'm going to be doing was I ordered Buzzer Beater by Inoue, which is his other.
You've been wanting that. Yeah, you told me about that.
It's his other basketball manga. It's like a sci-fi basketball. All 4 volumes, really nice price. I think it was like $28 or something for 4 books, and they're like color manga and stuff like that. And obviously it's in Japanese, so I can't read it, but like I'll find scans or something somewhere so I can read it.
Let's learn how to read kanji. Let's do it.
And then I also, for Araki, I ordered, I think, 3 books of his that have not been released in the US, of like shorter, some of his shorter stories. So I have one that he did with another creator that's called The Lives of Eccentrics. And then I got 2 story collections. One of them is called The Gorgeous Irene, and it has a bunch of his older, like before JoJo stuff. And then I also got one called Under Execution, Under Jailbreak, which has a lot of the stuff that he did while he was working on JoJo. So I'm excited to get those. I still need to get like the Rohan books. I'm trying to see if I can get them a little bit cheaper than I'm finding them now, but that way I can kind of show his artwork in a lot of the other books that he's written. So nice. I don't remember the point of me saying that. Oh, in the reason I was saying that is because then I'm gonna go and look at some other like Gekiga creators and stuff and start getting more like Kago work, for instance, so I could fill out that section of my library and then do a video about Kago. But I think there's a lot of work that I'd have to get if I want to also go with the stuff that's not released in English.
Yeah. nobody asked in the chat, but I'm gonna ask anyways. Did you get Gorenger that came out
Is
this
it?
week?
Oh, I didn't know it was out this week.
Yeah, I tried to convince the Omnibros to get it. Jess was not amused, but Gabe showed some interest in it, a little bit, just a tiny little bit, or he amused me. I would say. But I was going to get it, but I had to shift some things around, and maybe next month, if it's still in stock, I'll get it. I don't know. Another manhwa will be published this June, Limit Breaker. Got to check that out. I'll remember to read that.
So yeah, I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that it was out because I was paying attention to the date on Right Stuff, which is the 20th.
Yep.
So it'd be like with the last chunk of stuff that I ordered for this month.
Also, Mozen read the latest chapter yesterday, and the surprises keep coming. That is awesome. I'd love to hear that. Alex, do you think Dead Demons will get a 2 or 3-in-1 perfect edition eventually? I think it depends on sales for Viz, but Asano has never gotten that treatment, so I don't know.
Well, he's never gotten like something that was released in English in singles be re-released in English as a 2-in-1, because like Solanin was originally 2 volumes in Japan, and our version of Goodnight Punpun is 7 volumes instead of 15. But like What a Wonderful World, for instance, has not been re-released as a perfect edition. So if the sales, like Gio is saying, are good, or like if there's an anime adaptation that pushes attention to it and causes more interest in sales to go up, then like there's a possibility that it would be done, but I wouldn't count on it myself.
Do you think this is Promised Neverland, do you think it's because the studio's focus was on Horimiya and Wonder Egg Priority that the Promised Neverland ended up like that? I think no, because sometimes studios handle multiple shows at the same time. Like look at Toei. Toei's doing One Piece, Dragon Quest, and Digimon Adventure, and some like 2 other shows I'm forgetting. I think it's more that the manga had already ended, and the animation, the production committee, or however it's called over there, they were probably upset that the manga ended because anime and manga are so linked together that one promotes the other, and I think they just didn't want to adapt the whole thing, and then the creator was like, "Hey, let's do this instead," and they're like, "Okay, let's do that." It doesn't help that they had like the C team working on it, because if you've watched Wonder Egg Priority, holy smokes, that is like watching a movie spliced up into 12 episodes. It's gorgeous. Same with Horimiya. Horimiya looks amazing in my opinion. Back to Solo Leveling for a second here. Tons of Reynaldo, thank you for tuning in. Tons of Western fans within the isekai community say Solo Leveling is one of the best. Noble's anime wasn't all that good, although the opening and ending was, but reading it definitely is worth your time. Yeah, that's what I've read. And I don't like vampire anime, but I know the original source material is more than that, so I do want to check it out. Hector, I am on Comixology right now. Just caught the Solo Leveling graphic novel. Nice. I'll be reading it on the run tomorrow. Let us know in the comments when you read it. Give us your feedback. And man, do you think Promised Neverland might receive a box set in the future? I asked this recently somewhere, and it seemed people said no. For some reason, it would be a good candidate to me. If season 2 hadn't happened, I would say, yeah, they'll do it. Now, I don't know. It seems like they're not going to risk it. But stranger things have happened. So
yeah, I wouldn't wait on it. Like if you're interested in buying the series and want to actually read it sometime sooner than later, I would say don't wait on a box set, because if you really think about it, how many box sets are there in comparison to how many box sets are there in comparison to how many series don't have box sets, basically.
Yeah. Also, I hate to be a party pooper. I kind of don't like those boxes. I find them really cheap. It's just a soft, cheap chipboard box with a lame poster in it. That's it. I don't like that. Like if you did something different trim size, included like a full book, art book, or something meatier. But instead, it's just the regular volumes in a box with a crappy little poster that hardly anybody displays. I don't know. I'm not a fan.
I like I'd say the biggest positive is that usually the price is cheaper than buying them individually. So like the discounted
definitely.
price winds up being cheaper as well than the discounted individual. So there's the one good one. And then like for some like One Piece, for instance, you get like the extra little single one shot stories collected, and it's the only way, at least right now, to get those. Like Romance Dawn, Romance Dawn I think was collected. I don't know, whatever the ones that they have in those are. So like because I bought the first 3 box sets, so I have the extra content from those, and the 4th one is coming out. I'm like, damn it! Now they're probably going to collect like the Shokugeki no Sanji in the 4th extra thing. But yeah, I tend to agree. Like I'm not. There's a lot of people who are really like hung up on waiting for the box sets. I don't display the boxes. I take the books out of the box and put it in the closet, or not in the closet. I put the books on the shelf and the boxes in a closet and use them as storage for stuff.
I mean, yeah, that stoner beat, blasphemy. That folded up poster looks great, folded up in the box. Yeah. I mean, One Piece is an exception. I like that it comes with that extra material, but then you look like the Tokyo Ghoul box sets, or what's the other one? Assassination Classroom, or stuff like that, where it's just literally the volumes thrown in with that stupid folded poster. I'm like, come on, guys. If you're doing a box set, it should be like premium. Like, I'm not comparing it to the Akira box set, but take a look at the Akira box set. That's a box set, and that's
like the
the
Marvel box sets they've been doing for like the events and stuff. Like the Civil War box set, the Infinity box set. Even though those box sets are standard size books, there's a reason a lot of people will go for those instead of going for the individual volumes, because they do come with a lot of nice extras. I was texting Omar last week, and I told him like, hey, I'm gonna be doing a video for Nihei, like I did for Ito, and I was like, I've got everything that he's like, all the main stuff that he's released, and I took a picture of my shelf and sent it to him. He was like, nice. And I was like, do you happen to have Noise and Wolverine Snicked? And I was like, because I don't want to spend that money on those books. Like that's just ludicrous, the prices that they go for. And he doesn't have Snicked right now, but he's like, I think I have Noise. Like I'll try and dig it out. So I was like, if you mind, like, could I borrow it from you, or at the very least, just send me a lot of pictures that I can put into a video, so I can show like the content and stuff.
Yeah.
So I did like talk to him about that. So that's kind of funny to mention it here. But yeah, I think it'd be really cool to see them reprint that, especially if they do it in like a oversized hardcover. It'd be really
That'd be fun. Did Gorenger manga come first or the live action show? It is to my understanding that the manga came first, right?
Is it? I thought it was the other way.
It's the other way around? Well, I don't know.
Let's Google. I'm going to look for the...
Yeah.
You look for the date for the manga. I'm going to look for the date for the show.
Let's see. Himitsu Sentai Gorenger. Shoot. Good old Wikipedia says that it came out on TV 75 to 77.
Yeah, that's where I was looking as well. And what caught my eye is that it does say created by Shotaro Ishinomori. So, Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm looking at his stuff here. Cyborg 009 was in 64. By the way, we never talked about it on this show, but we're getting the omnibus edition of Kamen Rider. I'm really excited. I really want to get that.
Are we?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
7 Seas is putting it out.
I would assume in the same format as this.
Yeah. Classic manga collection. I don't know when the freaking date is. Let's see. Let's check Annie list. We gotta.
Not
He
have
needs
his.
to.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah. Before we leave tonight, we're gonna look that up. Super Sentai, 1975. The manga.
So they started around the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Kamen Rider preceded it though by like 4 years.
Kamen Rider, the classic manga collection, hardcover omnibus, comes out in December. The complete 4-volume original run of the genre-defining Kamen Rider manga, now in English, in a special 50th anniversary omnibus edition. Get excited, guys. That's going to be awesome. Over 800 pages long and contains the entirety of the series in an all-new translation. Yeah, definitely got to get that.
Put that like inside of me right now. I didn't. This is like the biggest downside to not being on social media right now is the fact that I miss all the news about stuff.
Yeah,
I was talking about it like last week about I missed the solicit for the Flash Jeff Johns Omnibus Volume 3, but I successfully guessed everything that was in it aside from like one short story. But like I don't know things because I'm not like I don't have my ear to the ground anymore.
you'll be back eventually.
Yeah, I'm gonna be back. I have to. I told my wife before, I was like, yeah, I'll go back online like in about a month and a half or so. And when I do, I'm just gonna limit how long I can be online so I don't get carried away and like spend my entire day.
You could just log into our chats and that's it.
Yeah.
Get wholesome feeds from us instead of the toxicity of the web.
I just maybe make like a Discord for my channel.
Yeah, that's
for
fun.
people to talk on. I don't even know how Discords work, but I've had like months ago someone asked me, "Do you have a Discord?" And I was like, I have a Facebook group, and I think they have a Discord.
Yeah. The farm has a Discord. That's fun. So if you want to get on that, you need to join the Omnibus group and then join the farm and then join the Discord. But you'll have fun there. I should get into Wonder Egg Priority. Heard nothing but good things about it, dude. It's solid. It's one of the best shows of the year so far.
I was told to watch it because Furikuri is my favorite anime. That I should definitely watch Wonder Egg.
Wonder Egg trigger warnings. Is that what people say these days? There is one of the topics is self-harm and suicide. That's
okay
throughout the whole thing. But it's like if you took a Satoshi Kon movie and mixed it with magical girl shows like Sailor Moon and Madoka Magica, but in a more somber, realistic form, you kind of get Wonder Egg Priority. There's a lot of influence from that stuff, but it's really good. There's one more episode coming because they were delayed because of the pandemic, so they pushed the final episode as an OVA for the summer, and that should be the finale. Marcelo, guys, being such a huge fan of manga, why haven't you taken the challenge of learning Japanese? The amount of available content multiplies once you learn the language. Also, a lot is lost in translation. It's just me not having the time to, or I do have the time. I don't know. Excuses, but you're right. I actually do want to learn how to read Japanese.
I think it would be really flimsy reason for me to want to learn. Like, I don't know, like I'd be offended if I was from a country and someone was like, I just want to learn your language so I can read this. I don't know, like if I want to learn Japanese, it would be because I want to more so immerse myself in the culture, I guess, so that if I visit, then I don't have to feel like a helpless foreigner. But also like the idea that like the content multiplies is not really that true, because I don't have that much of an ability. Like, I mentioned that I ordered a handful of books from Japan, but like the price to order these things is so like exponential compared to what I can buy here. And like it's not like if I learn Japanese that all of a sudden I would start buying a ton of Japanese editions of different series. I'm only picking a few things from my favorite creators right now. And yeah, I would love to be able to sit there and read it, but I'm not, you know, I'm going to say for sure, I don't have the time for that. Like I've been working the past several weeks, like 70 hours a week. And then on top of that, doing like everything for my channel. And then on top of that, like trying to have hobbies, like there's no way. And then having family as well, just sitting around and talking to people and like keeping up with people that I care about. There's no way. Like I can barely learn any more Spanish than I know. And I've been working at Spanish for like, how old am I? 30? I've been working at Spanish for like 30 years. And I barely know anything of that. So it's just not fathomable for me to do that.
I watch way too many shows. Like right now I'm watching last time the previous season, sorry, I did a review on that, and let's see, it's still uploading. Jesus Christ. It's been uploading all day. I made the foolish mistake of thinking, oh, this file will upload fast, and I forgot that it's a 10 gigabyte video that I made talking about 25 different anime shows. Turns out that this spring season, I'm talking watching 27 different shows. So if I were to learn Japanese, it would be great, because I'd be able to watch the shows unsubbed, raw, as the old school kids call it. Next, Imaginaut, just wait until you get around to Yuichi Yokoyama's best work. No joke, he may be the single most radical living artist across the entire medium, and was 5 to 10 years ago. Nice, I like the sound of that.
I'm set something up so people can just send me stuff. They are
fan mail and donations.
Well, I told my wife, I was like, because I don't want to set up. I can't get a PO box right now because the post offices close to us don't have them available. Like they have post office, they have PO boxes. They're just all filled up, basically.
Really?
All rented out. Yeah. Like I went online and I was like, sign up for PO box, and it like the closest locations were like, you know, completely occupied, none available. I was like, are you kidding me?
Weird.
Like, seriously? So I can't do a PO box right now, but I was like, maybe if I just open like an Amazon wish list, because the whole issue is not wanting to like give my address, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, like if anyone ever wanted to send me, say like, hey, I know that you don't have this, or I know that you haven't read anything by this person, and send something to me. That way, like, because I try to buy things that people recommend to me, but it's hard to, you know, have the extra money to fund that when I'm already trying to fund like regular releases. But yeah, I use like almost exclusively Billy shelves. Like everything in here, except for that shelf with the DVDs, everything in here is Billy's. I don't reinforce them. I've never had an accident. I've never had anything happen to the shelves. Some of them bow a little bit, but not so bad that like if you're asking if I reinforce them, then obviously they don't bow bad enough to seem like I don't, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I think they're stronger than a lot of people give them credit for. And maybe I'm just really nice to mine. Like I give mine some positive reinforcement and tell them that I love them every day, and it helps them to stay strong.
That's super cute.
I don't know. when I was growing up, I would always feel bad, like talking shit to my computer if it was running slow. And I would always, like, instead of being the guy who's like, you piece of shit, you need to, I would be like, come on, buddy, I know you can do it. Like,
You got this.
just
Come on.
load this page for me. We can get this going. We can get it. And I don't know. I felt like, my computer was happier to know that I was on its side. And so I'm like, tell my shelves every day, like, you guys can hold these books up. You got this. It's real heavy work, but hey, I believe in you.
There you go. Cleveland Brown, Mushoku Tensei needs warnings, especially because of the main character. Man, I just watched the first season and absolutely loved it. If you can get past the pervertedness of the main character, it's awesome. I really enjoyed Mushoku Tensei. I wanted to get the manga, but it has very negative reviews online because apparently it's a very from what I've read. If you know more than what I'm about to say, please let me know in the comments. From what I've read, it speed runs through most of the plot points from the light novels, and it's not that great of an adaptation. Whereas the anime is taking its source from the light novel and fleshing things out a little bit better. So a lot of people recommend reading the light novel and watching the show and skipping the manga. I'm like, okay, I'll skip the manga then. I'll just keep watching the show. Cleveland Brown, I should get those same shelves, mine bows so bad that some turn into a smiley face. Because they're happy that you have books there. That's why. Yeah.
The only time I ever had a shelf that broke on me was one time when I was still living at home with my parents, and they had built-in shelves. And I was sitting in the way that the room was set up. It was like the media room and the couch. And I was sitting on the couch watching TV in the media room. And there was like against the wall, there was one little shelf, and you push the shelf in, and that led into my library. So it was kind of like a secret Batman Batcave type room. Nice. So like, from behind the shelf, I'm sitting on the couch, that shelf door is right here, and all of a sudden I just hear like doom, 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 doom. I was like, what the fuck was that? And like it sucked because I was about to leave for work. Like I was sitting there like watching a show, dressed to go to work, eating lunch before I left or something like that. And I jump out into the room, and like the top shelf on one of the built-ins had the brackets or whatever, the little things that keep the shelves up, had broken off, and it just hit the next one, and that hit the next one. It just like made all of them fall down. And so I was like panic mode, because like it was crunching some of the books. So I pulled all the books off super fast, and like I was like, I don't have time to reassemble you right now, because like I had to leave for work.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah, so I just made sure that nothing was like pushing down on other books, so that it wouldn't crunch further if I left it there for an extended period of time. And then when I got back, I had to just kind of like adjust all of the, I put the pins on the next holes basically, because it like broke the wood. And so from that time, I don't know what I did. Like I had to reinforce something. I just don't remember what exactly I did to reinforce it. But it wasn't too long thereafter before I wound up moving, and I had to just buy shelves for all my stuff anyway.
Dang. But that happens. I haven't had that. Previously, I had some Billies, but I don't think I had any problems with that. I evenly spaced things out, and I didn't have a lot of Omni, so not too much pressure on my Billy shelves. But speaking of Billies and shelves and books, you can fill those Billies with some awesome books at InStockTrades.com, our wonderful sponsor, where you can get your collected editions and some manga as well, up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. And if you order $50 or more in that order, you get free shipping. Fantastic customer service, wonderful packaging, only at InStockTrades.com. Thank you to our wonderful sponsors for making this stream happen tonight. One last question here from Next Imaginaut. Ultimo's Memories is finally coming out on Blu-ray soon. Have you heard any rumblings about Angel's Egg? Dude, if they release Angel's Egg, I will flip out. I've been wanting to watch that since forever. I know about it. I haven't watched it, but I know about it, and that's one of the classics. I really it gives me hope because if they're doing memories, Angel's Egg is around the corner. I think. Hopefully it happens because yeah. So that's about it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to the chat. Lively and wonderful as always. Thank you for everybody that participated with us live talking about solo leveling, which you can try and get when it comes back into in stock at different websites. So, yeah, we enjoyed this. And maybe when Volume 2 comes out, we can do a follow-up video. We'll see. Omnibus Collector, where can people find you on the internet?
My channel is at the Omnibus Collectors. You can find me there. I need to stop working too much and edit my damn video that I need to edit and put that up so that I can have that done and then get to doing some other stuff. And how about yourself?
Well, you can find me on my channel. That's A Week in Geekdom, where I talk about anime, comics, and manga. I'm currently uploading a video, and it's taken all freaking day to upload because it's a huge file, and there's still another hour left. So one of these days, that video will go live, and you can enjoy it. But yeah, find me there, A Week in Geekdom. Subscribe if you can. Help a brother out with that channel. Thank you, everybody. Next week, we'll be back with regular Omnibros talking about something. And then the week after that, we'll come back with some manga goodness. Maybe looking at some previews? Yes, looking at the May stuff that's coming out. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. God bless. Stay safe out there. Read Solo Leveling. Let us know what you thought in the comment section down below. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Where's the thing? There's the thing. Is it? It's not. There it is. Hey, there we go. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.